Manchester United fans, big news today. Police car light a major transfer blow. A £42 million star heading to La Liga Spain, and a young Red Devil with a point to prove against Arsenal. Plus, Gary Neville spotted in a surprising new role eyes. Let's dive into all the latest updates. Man United blow in chase for Ruben Amorim replacement. Manchester United are considering hiring Max Allegri to replace Ruben Amorim as manager, but AC Milan have now entered the chase for the Italian coach. According to Fishages earlier this week, United are moving closer to making a decision to sack Ruben Amorim. The decision will likely be taken at the end of the current season, although he could get the chop before then if things deteriorate further in the coming weeks. And Fishages reported that former Juventus and Milan manager Allegri has jumped to the front of the queue in the list of possible replacements. However, United have now suffered a blow to their hopes of appointing Allegri. Gazzetta dello Sport report that AC Milan have made Allegri as their top choice to be their new manager for next season. The Rossoneri have endured a just as disastrous season as Manchester United this term and have no chance of qualifying for the Champions League. A fortnight ago, they were also dumped out of the Champions League by Feyenoord. Current boss Sergio Conceição will be relieved of his duties at the end of the season, and Gazzetta reports that Milan believe that Allegri is the safest and most experienced man to inherit a difficult situation. It would be a return to Milan for Allegri, who coached the club between 2010 and 2014, winning the Scudetto. Allegri is one of the most successful coaches in the history of Italian football. The 57-year-old has won 6 Serie A titles, 5 of them at Juventus and 1 with Milan. He also reached 2 Champions League finals with Juve, both lost. However, his stock has fallen dramatically in recent years, so much so that he has been labeled by some in Italy as a dinosaur who has failed to adapt to the changes in the modern game. Allegri is famed for being an ultra-conservative coach who proposes a deep defensive line and counter-attacking football. He dislikes possession or progressive football. After initially leaving Juventus in 2019, he returned to the club in 2021 after 2 years out of the game. His return to Juve was largely a disaster, with the Bianconeri setting a whole host of negative historical records under his command. They never finished closer than 16 points away from the eventual champions in all 3 seasons back in Turin, while they performed abysmally in the Champions League. Allegri was sacked last summer, a year before his contract ended, although he did at least finish on a high by winning the Coppa Italia. Candidates to replace Amorim. Fishages previously reported last week that United had drawn up a 3-man shortlist to replace Amorim of Zinedine Zidane, Thomas Tuchel, and Mauricio Pochettino. Man United star set for £42 million La Liga transfer as verbal agreement with Spanish giants is reached. Manchester United attacker Alejandro Garnacho has reportedly reached a verbal agreement with Atletico Madrid, with the Argentina international set to return to the La Liga giants this summer. Garnacho joined Atletico's youth system from Getafe in 2015, and he spent 5 years with the Red and Whites before making the move to Man United, eventually breaking into the English club's first team in 2022. The 20-year-old has made 128 appearances for the Red Devils, scoring 23 goals and registering 16 assists in the process, including 8 goals and 7 assists in 42 outings during the 2024-25 campaign. Garnacho is without a goal for Man United since the end of November, though, while he has only managed 3 goals and 1 assist in 26 Premier League appearances this term. There was a host of speculation surrounding the forward's future during the January transfer window, with both Napoli and Chelsea believed to be keen to sign him, but the market ended with him still at Old Trafford. Garnacho reaches verbal agreement over Atletico return. Man United are not actively looking to sell Garnacho, but his exit would count as pure profit under the Premier League's rules surrounding profit and sustainability, so his departure would do a lot for the club's finances. According to Fishages, Garnacho has already reached a verbal agreement with Atletico, and he is now expected to return to the Spanish giants during this summer's transfer window. The report claims that Atletico head coach Diego Simeone views the youngster as the perfect player to complement Julian Alvarez in the final third of the field, while Man United have reluctantly decided to let the player leave. The Red Devils are said to be looking for a fee in the region of €50 million, £42 million, for Garnacho, which is unlikely to prove to be too problematic for Atletico, who are fighting on three fronts in the latter stages of the campaign. Garnacho's best work for Man United has come from a wide position, but he is being asked to operate as a number 10 in a 3-4-3 formation under current head coach Ruben Amorim, and it just has not happened for the attacker. There have been unsavory incidents too, with Garnacho's recent reaction to being substituted against Ipswich Town in the Premier League, leading to friction with head coach Amorim. Garnacho also showed his frustration at being substituted in the Europa League against Real Sociedad last time out, and it is believed that he is now actively looking to leave Old Trafford, having previously been keen to stay. There is also speculation surrounding the future of Kobbie Mainoo, with the England international said to be prepared to reject the chance to sign a new deal at Old Trafford in order to seek a move abroad. Man United youngster's character was questioned. He can silence doubters against Arsenal. To be at Manchester United means having each move scrutinized and analyzed endlessly, where only the strong-willed can survive and thrive. Even the youngsters are not safe from the scrutiny, hence Ruben Amorim's reticence in throwing them straight into the deep end and exposing them to scrutiny. One Man United youngster, however, might not have that choice and instead even be relishing this upcoming fixture against Arsenal. He had his character questioned earlier in the season due to the Arsenal factor, and there's no better way to silence those doubters than by putting in a statement display against that same team. Man United youngsters character questioned. If the scrutiny is endless and uncontrollable, then the only way to deal with it is to use it as fuel for better performances. Proving people wrong can be a great motivator, and it is exactly that kind of siege mentality that powered Sir Alex Ferguson's greatest teams. That hasn't been the case this season for many players, leading to a vicious cycle of even more criticism and accusations of being soft and fragile. When United take the field against Arsenal, Aidan Heaven might do well to read about Ben Foster questioning his character back in February. Heaven joined from Arsenal in the summer, and unlike Cheeto Obi, there were no reports of a bidding war for his services, leading to questions over his motivation. Foster had accused Heaven of lacking motivation because he joined a chaotic Man United over a stable Arsenal team, insinuating it was because of a higher wage only. Aidan Heaven can prove Ben Foster wrong. Heaven hasn't been helped by the club because they've promoted him as a bona fide first-team signing when he's clearly still more of an academy player. Still, Heaven enjoyed a perfect Man United debut versus Fulham, leading to expectation that he might be more ready than first thought. As Harry Maguire is set to miss this game, there is a clear role to play for Heaven against his former team by coming in place of the man he came for against Fulham as well. One game's result won't announce the final verdict on whether Heaven made the right move to join United from Arsenal. However, it will go a long way towards establishing his own credentials. He wouldn't have received first-team football so quickly against this level of opposition had he stayed at Arsenal. What Gary Neville did hours before Man United versus Arsenal, as Sky Sports Pundit spotted in new role. Manchester United legend Gary Neville has made a drastic career change, taking to the stage as part of his new job. The Sky Sports Pundit and former Premier League fullback was spotted performing with the Raytons on Saturday. He rocked out as part of the Rotherham rock band during their gig at Aviva Studios in Manchester. In a video posted on X, Neville can be seen having the time of his life alongside frontman Johnny Yarrell, lead guitarist Joe O'Brien, and drummer Jamie Todd. He was the stand-in for bass player Lee Holland. It was announced last September that the 50-year-old would join the band on their right back at a UK tour. The ex-England international replaced Holland, who had suffered an apparent injury, for a series of live dates in 2025. A skit was shared on social media confirming Neville's new job, with the four-piece auditioning him for the role. After undergoing various suitability tests, he admitted, "I've never played bass in my life." To which they reply, "You're in." The Raytons kicked off the tour at London's O2 Academy on February 7th, before visiting Blackpool Tower, the Academy in Dublin, and Aviva Studios in Manchester. Their last performance is at Glasgow's SWG3 Galvanizers Yard. For more information about the Rotherham indie rockers, and to get tickets to any of their performances, visit the Ticketmaster website. The Raytons UK and Ireland Live shows 2025. February 7th, London, O2 Academy Brixton. February 8th, Bournemouth, O2 Academy. February 14th, Birmingham, O2 Academy. February 15th, Blackpool, Blackpool Tower. February 22nd, Newcastle, O2 City Hall. February 28th, Dublin, Academy. March 1st, Belfast, Limelight. March 8th, Manchester, Aviva Studios. July 19th, Glasgow, SWG3 Galvanizers Yard.